Welcome to another edition of Chris Wrestling Views here on YouTube.com. So today you guys are going to be doing the AEW Dynamite review on January 20th, 2021. I have Jatori here with me doing this one. I know the last one I did, I was by myself. So AEW opens up with Brody Lee's son, -1, celebrates his birthday on today with the Dark Order, and the entire crowd sings happy birthday to him. And then out comes Dr. Luther, that weird looking crazy dude. But he comes out and said that he's gonna ruin, -1's birthday. And after then, that's when TH2 comes out. They have a brawl with the Dark Order. Hangman Adam Page comes out to help. Then there was a or 8-man tag team match, which was Chaos Project and TH2 versus the Dark Order and Hangman Page. So -1 hits Luther with the kendo stick, and Colt Cabana um, does like this little, what was that little thing called? Jatori, that little, what was like a, dang, I forgot what that thing called. Well, he picked him up in the air and then put his face in the cake, how they normally do. And then, so after then, Dark Order wins. Um, so it was a okay thing, but it was something for Brody Lee's son, -1. So that was an okay match. I mean, since it was a get a match for paying tribute to Brody Lee, still I'll give it a 3.7.
As a little happy birthday tribute to his little son, and to show love to his family. Um, I give it a three. It was a decent match. Uh, it was an okay match. It wasn't that technical, and it was just a fast paced, quick and hurry match to get start and over with. So I'll just go with three.
Okay, okay. I mean, it couldn't be no better than that, because the Chaos Project, like that guy Dr. Luther, he's like he's real weird. Like, I've never heard of him before until I started watching AEW. So, I mean, it is what it is. So after then, Dark Order, what's the I forgot that guy's name, the short bald head guy, Axe. What's his name, Jatori?
Ah, I like I said, I don't know every one of the Dark Order members, so
Yeah, I
but
mean,
one of Dark Order members asked Hangman Adam Page if he would finally join,
yep.
and he had to break his little heart, sweet cake heart, and say that he declined his offer. He's sorry that he held it off for so long, but he already tried the group thing.
I, is it John Silver?
It's a possibility that it is. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah, it's John Silver, you guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was John Silver at Heyman Adam Page. Will he, accept the um the offer from the Dark Order to join them? But he declined. But Heyman declined, says, and I quote, he can't join the Dark Order, and he walks away. And they were hoping that he was gonna say yes, but officially didn't happen, because the reason why he said he can't is when he was teamed up with Kenny Omega at the time, and they won the tag team championships. then Kenny Omega turned on him, and so I guess he's still feeling that same thing that happened to him. So he doesn't want the Dark Order to turn on him and relive that same thing over again.
And you know that the strange part is, it really wasn't Kenny Omega that turned on him. It's uh, Hangman left Kenny Omega hanging a lot of times
Right,
for drinking. That's that's his gimmick, drinking.
right. Yeah, I mean, hey man, Adam Page. I mean, don't get me wrong. He seems like he's a good wrestler. Never heard of him before. Him or
He's a tremendous wrestler. It's just his gimmick is, drinking. It's his uh he's like Sandman.
right from ECW. Yeah,
Yeah.
made yeah. I mean, made sense though. Um, so yeah, after that, you guys, MJF and Chris Jericho are talking backstage about the triple threat tag team match um, later on tonight in the main event, and saying that how Chris Jericho and MJF are gonna win. And so a segment happens in the ring. Up next, it had Sting and Darby Allin talking. So Tony Schiavone comes out and and Sting comes out and Darby Allin comes out as well. Sting congratulated Darby Allin on his TNT Championship match last week against Brian Cage. Stings tell Darby that he reminds him of himself, and Team Taz appears up on a Titron talking about they how Darby Allin fought dirty last week, and that you know he wants to take things to the streets. And Taz was like, I'm from the streets, I'm from New York, and blah blah blah. And Sting and Darby Allin said they accept the match from Taz and his member of Team Taz. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. What kind of match would it be? Would it be a 2-on-2? Would it be a 4-on-2? Or I don't even know if Taz is gonna wrestle though. But I know Powerhouse Hobbs and Brian Cage and possibly what's the other guy's name?
You know,
Yeah,
we might even get a backstage brawl match. Might get a backstage brawl match or a backstage hardcore match or some kind of street match. Cause
yeah,
Darby likes to use his skateboard and Sting likes to use his bat.
yeah.
Uh, and we might even get an appearance, finally get appearance from Taz's son, because Taz's son been training with Cody Rhodes.
Right. I wonder did they squash that gimmick between Cody Rhodes and Taz, or is it still going on? Because Cody Rhodes, he's for the past couple weeks, he's been wrestling like a bunch of nobodies, like people that were on AEW Dark.
They might have, mm, they probably have. Who
Yeah,
knows? 'Cause like I said, I ain't seen them on the main show.
yeah. I mean, till later on tonight, and what we're gonna read soon here. So maybe they're doing it lightly on him, or well, he's doing it lightly on himself because, of him um going to be a dad very soon. So another segment, you guys, that we're seeing backstage was the Young Bucks are looking for Kenny Omega and Don. Well, the Young Bucks are looking for Kenny Omega. Don Callis is in Kenny Omega's house and tells the Young Bucks that Kenny Omega is busy and that people been blowing Kenny Omega's phone up, all his old friends. So Don Callis writes um the Young Bucks a check, and try to buy them off from Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks attacked Don Callis. So during that, I mean, it's like with Don, yeah, I mean, like with Don Callis, I never heard of this guy before. You probably have Jatori though, but I mean, I'm not really familiar either with Kenny Omega. I mean, I've seen him in New Japan Pro Wrestling before, but I just never knew like anything about him. And you know, I really don't know what this, know what to say, about Don Callis or Kenny Omega and how they pull this thing off with them going to Impact and all this stuff, and AEW really not focusing like they were before they started all this stuff with Impact Wrestling. So I mean, it's like it's crazy though, honestly.
What I think of it about him is I remember him back when Impact literally probably when AJ Styles was there. But
Yep.
as far as matter of fact, I kind of remember him when WWF, but I remember him more as in AJ Styles was there. I don't remember him when the Young Bucks was around. I really don't. I'm just gonna be honest. Now,
Yeah,
when Young Bucks mentioned it, I was kind of surprised.
I remember the Young Bucks from WWE for sure.
Yeah, but I don't remember Callis was around then.
Yeah, I definitely do not.
Now, if he was backstage or something like that, that's a strong possibility. Now, the funny part about it was when the Young Bucks said that these checks ain't no good. Uh, I could take this checks, but it's no good. That place is bankrupt.
He said these checks don't mean anything. I
Yeah, and he like Impact's broke.
was like, shoot, the check's gonna bounce.
Yeah, we make more here.
Yeah, and the Young Bucks are part owners of AEW as well, so
Yeah,
they don't want
he
no
tried
check.
to buy them off. It was that was the funny part. He was like, "Oh, I'm on pay, I'm buy you off." I was still thinking about, like, what are you talking about? They part owner of the AEW.
Shoot, man. That
You
hey,
want
man,
to be
Don
let
Callis.
in the arena,
Yeah, Don Callis money couldn't even touch the Young Bucks money of what they made.
right? So, like I said, that was just like a funny segment to it. I couldn't even rate that. It was just funny to me.
It really was a good funny segment for the night. Also, the next thing that happened was um this guy named Pretty Peter Avalon versus the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson. Jade Cargill comes out and just looks at Cody. Peter Avalon, low blows Cody, and Peter attacks Cody's leg. Cody tries to leapfrog, but Peter lifts his head up, and so it's basically Cody's leg got hit by Peter's head. And then Cody so later on during that match, Cody Rhodes locks in the figure four, and it was pretty funny because Peter reversed the figure four, and Cody turns back over, and Cody was trying to slap Peter, and but he didn't, and so after then, Peter didn't want to get slapped, so he tapped out and lost the match. So the winner of this match is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
Now, Peter, he reminds me of. I remember when he first came in. He like just like AEW said, he was terrible. So when he first came in, um as a wrestler, his gimmick was like Val Venus. He still does like a little similar Val Venus gimmick where does his little strut trying to act all pretty like a porn star. So I was like, man, you still ain't gave that up. And his wrestling style, he kind of tries to act like Val Venus. And I'm like, no wonder you're still losing. I'm like, you're trying to copy another wrestler. You can't be another wrestler, man. Be your own person.
Right, right.
Then I look at his chin. It looks like Ellsworth, bro.
James
Bro,
Ellsworth.
I'm like, bro, there's something wrong with this. Something ain't right.
Exactly, dude.
I'm like, no wonder Cody said he was gonna beat you under a minute. Cody dissed up all around.
That was great.
So, like I said, the match was it was like a squash match at one in one way.
Yeah, I give it a two.
Yeah, because Cody does better with anybody. Cody's a good wrestler with anybody. I really wouldn't want to see that match.
Yeah,
Cody's a
but
great wrestler.
but it definitely was funny though when
Yeah, it
when
was
he tried
funny.
to slap him and then he jumped back and then he just tapped out. I was like, what the world?
Yeah, he knew he was totally wrong. He was outmatched, and as soon as he slapped him, it looked like Cody wanted to break his old legs off.
Yeah. So backstage we had a little segment with what's that group called? Is it Jurassic Park?
Yeah, the Jurassic Park Express.
Yeah. And FTR with hey man, what's the dang, I forgot their manager's name. Oh my goodness. But FTR and I think it's the Jungle Express. But anyways, Jungle Boy challenge Dex Hardwood to a match next week on AEW Dynamite. So we're gonna see how that match is gonna go. So they had a match. So John Moxley returned in action after weeks. He's been gone since he fought the new AEW champion Kenny Omega, and so he fought this guy named Nick Kamoroto or whatever that guy's name. Um, so John Moxley goes for the clothesline, but Nick has John, in the air, of course. But Moxley applies the sleeper, and the guy Nick just faints. And so that was just a quick match. So I'm gonna have to give that match a 2.1. And also Moxley talks and says anything can happen on Wednesday nights, and says that Kenny can bring whomever he wants to AEW and he will break them in half. And he said the party is just getting started.
Yeah, I gotta say it was a little slug match, but Moxley looked like he was outmatched for a little second, but a lot of time Moxley looked like he was outmatched. But the thing is, he comes back with ruthless aggression,
But
and
he's
I
looking
like that.
small.
But you got,
I think he's been working out though.
he looks slimmer and bigger up top.
Right.
I like that like I said, I like that he got a submission move now.
Yeah.
And like I said, you need more like a secondary move. Just like when he tried to go for the clothesline, he recognized that that I can't lift this dude. So even if he did go for the paradise shift, he couldn't put it on the dude because he can't DDT the dude. Two, when he went for the clothesline, he almost broke his arm.
Right.
So when the guy picked him up, he put him in the Gator submission. So when he put him in the Gator submission, the guy had no choice but the submission. Because that was his last choice that he had, or Moxley probably would have got his butt whooped.
Yep.
Just to be honest, because that's how he beat all every other dude that was bigger than him. That's how it. So I mean, that's how he held on to the belt so long.
Right. Um. Yep. So Eddie Kingston is backstage, talking about his match against Lance Archer next week, and Lance Archer, of course, he comes up. They start, bickering, and then of course we see Jake the Snake Roberts, um, talking, as well, trying to say a few words and stuff about the match next week as well. Don Callis is seen with a messed up eye, by Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega asks who done it, and he said, "No, I don't. I want you to stay focused and all this stuff." So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with that next week on AEW Dynamite. 6-man tag team match: Matt Sydal and Top Flight versus Matt Hardy and Private Party. Um, Matt Hardy hits the side effect on Sydal and both of the members of Top Flight. Private Party hits Top Flight with a basically hits him with the chair, off the top. Hit one of the members of Top Flight, off, off the top rope with the chair, and then the other member of Private Party goes for the shooting star press, and then they win, but they start to attack them after the match. So on that match right there itself, we cannot see we can basically see that already coming, because Private Party is the number one contenders for the AEW Tag Team Championships. So I have to give that match a 2.1, because it was already noticeable of who was going to actually win that match.
No, for the Impact
Oh,
Wrestling.
it's for the Impact. Okay, well, my bad. It's for the Impact World Tag Team Championships. Whoever the tag team champions is over there. I haven't watched Impact, you guys, in a while, since Aces and Eights were on there. So it's definitely.
Uh,
Uh,
uh, um, what's your name? Anderson and what's his name?
oh, Ken Anderson still there?
Not Ken Anderson. The ones that just left WWE. Anderson and
You talking about the book? Oh, you talking about the Bullet Club? You talking about Ken Anderson and
Gallows.
Gallows? Yeah.
Yeah, they're the tag team champions.
Oh yeah, the good, what they call them, the Good Brothers, whatever. But okay, yeah. Um, not really to say much about that match or whatever.
Yeah, I only rate that like a that gets a 3 too, because because there was some silly moments and some mistakes and it was kind of messy.
right,
And so I had to give it 3 because you could it was predictable. Predictable.
it was. Um, Leah, Harish, versus Penelope Ford. Penelope Ford wins by having her feet on the rope, and she had some help from Kip Saban as well, with Miro was on the outside, so she basically win the 4 foot 11. Leah Harris loses this match. It's kind of surprising that I didn't know the lady was 4 foot 11, and the top and the bottom rope was a little bit taller than her. I was like, wow. Um,
I gotta get that match.
I give
I
it.
give it a 2.5 on just on the simple fact that she's 4'11" and she's pretty athletic. She's pretty athletic, strong, and hold on, what's her name? What was her real name that she go to? Is it the Truth or something like that?
I'm not really sure. This is my first time ever
yeah, I don't know. It was some I don't know, some of the truth or something like that. But she's really athletic, and she like I said, she get she surprised me. She surprised me to be so small and could wrestle, put so much gymnastics and can she almost could. I really think she probably could out wrestle Miro because she actually was that strong
Yeah,
for that small of a woman.
yeah. They could. I mean, they can definitely.
She really was going in, but you know the way the gimmicks and the odds and
They can definitely push her. Honestly.
yeah, they could push her if they do it right, but the match was kind of lame the way they did. Had too many people in the ring, on the outside of the ring, and then
Yeah.
Miro.
Yeah.
So
Miro kept saving. Yeah.
and
The
Chuck and all that. So
yeah. It's whatever. Main event time, you guys. The inner circle tag team, well, triple threat tag team match. So there was MJF and Chris Jericho with Warlord versus Santana and Ortiz versus Sammy Guevara and Jake Hager. So the winners of this match was MJF pinned Sammy, the person that Sammy Guevara hates was he got pinned by. So and he held he held Sammy Guevara. MJF held Sammy Guevara trunks for the win. So what could happen next week on AEW Dynamite? Will MJF and Sammy Guevara have a match next week, or possibly will this just means that Sammy Guevara will end up leaving the inner circle at some point. Well, at next week's AEW Dynamite on Wednesday.
um, I think within the next couple weeks that there's gonna be talk about how they brought in a lot of interference, like weapons, and when it was supposed to be a friendly tag team match between the inner circle,
Right.
and there was interference from the outside, and uh, but like I said, it was supposed to be a friendly match,
Right.
which it wasn't. So there's gonna be problems, and I always told you if there's problems within a faction, it's not good, and so someone's gonna be either broken up or kicked out, and more likely it's gonna be MJF, either MJF or Sammy. Sammy's gonna bring some kind of attention to MJF, and it's
I
gonna
think I
that's
think
where I think it's gonna start.
I think it's gonna be MJF getting put out. But then again, as if you can remember back 2 weeks ago, if I'm right, when they had the little ultimatum thing going on, that went on, and every member of when Jake Hager had a problem with Warlord staring at him and all that, y'all remember that segment. And then Sammy Guevara said, if one more thing happens within this group, he said, I'm telling you, and he told Chris Jericho that I'm telling you, I will leave the inner circle.
You want to know why I think Sammy will not? Well, MJF will not get kicked out,
Why
and
is
this
that?
will on the only way he will not get kicked out is if they win the tag team champion. You gotta realize, Chris Jericho wants to be a champion. That's the only way. That's the reason why he left. Sammy and stopped being Sammy's partner. They stopped winning. And Chris Jericho said it to Sammy. He said, I'll be partners with anybody if I could win. When Snoop was there, he said, Sammy said, oh, well, Snoop's here. So will you be partners with Snoop Dogg? He said, yeah, if I could win. And he said it to him to their face.
Wow.
So that means if he could be a champion, he will shoot, he'll kick anybody to the curb. Chris Jericho don't care. And he done that in on WWE. He done that before. This ain't the first time he ever said that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
And I
it
really think he
is all
means that.
about
I think he means that he's on script or whatever in life, real life. It doesn't matter. But I think he wants to be a champion.
yeah.
That's the most important thing to him.
I mean,
So it
I
is
mean,
that I don't blame him, but I'll be want to be a champion too. I don't want to be no loser.
shoot, man. Shoot, man. I would like, shooting over to WWE. I wouldn't want to be like, uh, shoot. Let me name somebody.
You gotta realize his
I
gimmick
wouldn't
is
want.
Le Champion.
Yeah, it is. Shoot. Nobody don't want to be Chad Gable in WWE.
Right.
Just sitting on the sidelines. You have a match, you just get your head knocked off, or you get speared, or you get it zigzagged, or you get deep six by Baron Corbin and something like that. Baron Corbin still haven't been no champion yet. Speaking of that,
Right. Shoot, that's a perfect example right there.
yeah, Baron Corbin in WWE. Yeah, man, shoot, you gotta want to be a champion. Like, shoot,
Like every day you show up, you gotta think, I want to be a champion. You look in the mirror, I want to be a champion. You put on your shoes, I want to be a champion. I mean, you don't want to go. I just want to go out there and say hi.
yeah, and look at the crowd, like Eugene. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember him.
Remember that idiot?
Him in his white jacket. I mean, that's nice and everything, but the thing is, what else you want to be?
Shoot, man, a sucker? I don't know, man. That's just crazy. Yeah, you definitely like honestly, you guys, you definitely want to be a champion, like in a professional wrestling company. Otherwise, why are you there? Point blank. Period. Why are you there? Just there to make money, but you're not gonna be making enough money. Just
Well,
like
I mean, make money, but I mean, I want to wear the belt too.
no, if you're making like if you was to make money like in a company, and let's say it was this one guy in WWE, he talked about he was only making $600
Oh
every.
yeah, to make the big money, you got to wear the belt.
Yeah, you gotta have a championship. I mean, just like for instance, shoot, I don't even think most wrestlers now are, making half of $1 million every year. So I mean, yeah, you gotta want to get that championship. So yeah, so next week you guys, I named those matches. Oh, also you guys, I forgot to mention Cody Rhodes is gonna respond next week to Shaquille O'Neal. Um of what's been going on between him, Jay Cargill, and Shaq himself. So we're definitely gonna see what's gonna happen on AEW Dynamite next week, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Chris Wrestling Views here on YouTube.com. Make sure you guys like, comment, hit that bell, and click off to get all my videos sent to your notifications, and also share this video with everyone else. I had one person ask me, how do you share the video? Basically, if you're watching my video, click the URL up top, which is the link, and right click it and copy it and send it to whomever else, so they can subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you all for watching Chris Wrestling Views here on YouTube.com. Also, one more thing, you guys, our next video. is going to be about Mustafa Ali in WWE. He had some words to say about talent. So check that video out, you guys. Thank you for listening to Chris Wrestling Views here on YouTube.com.